Hi, everybody. My name is Devin Jackson. I'm with Agora Sports and Entertainment. Today, I am joined with a really special guest. He is from my hometown, Anchorage, Alaska, from the snow. I'm joined with Rashad King of LSU. How are you today, bro?
Doing good. Appreciate you for having me.
Of course, of course. So, just to start off, you've had a unique path from Alaska to LSU. You started off at Northeastern, and then you transferred to LSU. Can you talk to me about that journey and the transition process through getting to this stage?
Yeah, so coming out of high school, I didn't really have too many offers. I had one to the Air Force Academy and then I had one to Tennessee Tech. So I decided to go with the Air Force Academy. Tried it out. But it wasn't for me. I played the prep season. And ended up committing to University of Missouri, Kansas City. And then the coach left. So I was able to, get out of my NIL or NLI and ended up at Northeastern. I spent 3 years there, got graduated from there. It was a grind. Freshman year was rough. Sophomore year got a little better. And my junior year, I had a pretty good season. I was fortunate enough to be able to enter the transfer portal and get picked up by LSU. And yeah, I spent this last season at LSU. And yeah,
No, that's what's up, bro. You definitely had a journey that has shown your resilience, but that's how they make us back home, man. That's how they make
yes.
us, man. So nothing new, nothing new. So for all the people who may not know you yet, who is Rashad King beyond basketball?
Yeah, so I'm one of six kids. Grew up in a military household. My mom and my dad were both in the Air Force, and that's kind of how we ended up, bouncing around a lot. I was born in Valdosta, Georgia. Spent some time in Japan, Italy, Virginia, and then we kind of settled down in Alaska for a little bit. I spent seventh through 10th grade there. Ended up leaving my last 2 years of high school. Came to Augusta, Georgia, and yeah, kind of went from there. But yeah, off the court, I'm just chill, laid back kind of guy. Like to be with my family. But yeah, to each his own.
No, yeah, for sure. No, for sure. That's super cool. So we don't make too many high level athletes. I'll tell the truth, right? We don't make too many outside from where I'm from. So what's something or an experience or just like one thing in general about being a high level athlete that the average person, like the average fan, wouldn't understand? Like what does what does it take? I never played Division 1 basketball. So like what's one thing that you could say is different about being like a high level college athlete?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's a lot more work behind the scenes than maybe I don't know if people realize how hard of a job it is, but yeah, it's essentially a job. You got to put in a lot of extra hours outside of the court, the field, wherever you at to even kind of be able to scratch the surface and just play. Especially being at an athlete, and if you're at a accredited university, that's I feel like I give you extra props for that. But it's a lot of work behind the scenes than just going out there and just playing and, getting treated nice and stuff like that.
Yeah, man, it's real life. That's very
Yeah.
true. It's real life. So let's transition, man. Let's talk about NIL, man. So
Yes.
a lot a lot of that experience has also changed recently since you have become a college athlete. So when NIL was first introduced, what did you expect it to be like, and what has your reality been so far with NIL?
When it first kind of hit the scene, I thought it was going to be kind of like a jersey sale type of thing. Oh, some of the kids on campus got your jersey. You made a few $100s, maybe a couple $1,000. And for the most part, when it first started out, it was that was kind of what it was to my knowledge. But it definitely exploded from there. Now it's just flat out kind of, basically a contract. You're playing semi-pro or kind of like the NBA. You go in there and, it's a lot of deals and a lot of, incentives going on in the background now. But when I first started out or when it first hit the scene running, I thought it was going to be kind of minimal. You'll get some type of money. Some may even life changing, but not the whole landscape. Now it's more like everybody can get paid. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's very true. That's very true. And there aren't like a lot of guidelines surrounding like who can get what goes where, because it's still really new. It's in its baby phases. So at
Mhm.
LSU, what kind of resources did they give you, if any, to be able to navigate just like the NIL scene? What did you think beyond anything else was successful for you?
Yeah, so I kind of got lucky. At Northeastern, we were, since it's still fairly new, we were kind of behind the curve with the NIL and different things like that. So they didn't really jump on the plan until it was too late. And coming to LSU, they were kind of on the opposite end of the stick. They were one of the first ones, if not the first ones, to kind of hit the scene with the NIL. So they have their own whole own department, not like any other in the country. It's called NILSU. They've been on, Amazon Prime, different things like that. And they give us a whole bunch of resources. They come in, they tell you, they give you past players and past student athletes of kind of what they did, their model. But I can't speak for everybody in the country or every school in the country. I just know LSU has a very strong foundation in the NIL area.
For sure. Nah, I mean, LSU is a Power Five school. Is the resources should be there. So that I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that you had an opportunity to experience, both sides of the spectrum. Like that's really important.
Yes, sir.
So, like you said, some money is life changing. Money may not be as life changing. But how are you thinking about saving and managing the money that you have received? So, like, what's next? What you gonna do?
Yeah. So with my payment, I got mine in a large lump sum, and so immediately I put mine up because the type of money that when you go Power Five, it's life changing money. So, I personally didn't like want anything kind of just sitting floating and not making any money. So most of my money is tied up. I would say probably 90 to 95% of my money is all tied up in investments, and uh, and then the rest of that's kind of floating in the money market. I'm just letting my money grow. I don't really need any use for it. The universities pay for everything. Food is handled, travel, clothing. So all my money's tied up, and it'll stay like that for a good minute while it builds interest and different things like that.
No, absolutely, man. That's a great strategy to have, man. I wish you the best of luck in that realm. Here's my last kind of NIL question. When you are engaging with a brand, what makes you trust a brand? Like, what are some things that stand out to make you be like, hey, this is somebody that I want to work with?
I would say for me, it's different for every individual person. Some people are looking for, the biggest check. Some people are looking to build relations. Me, I'm more of a relation type of guy. Them showing interest and not just the kind of the copy paste type of DM or, hit up or anything like that. That shows interest or it makes me show a lot more interest in them because it feels like they actually want to have a genuine connection and kind of want to see my brand and my portfolio kind of explode. So that's something that I look for.
Absolutely. And then my last question is, what is the coolest NIL related thing you've experienced or seen? I know you may have seen a couple things, man. So like
Mhm.
what's the coolest thing that you've seen in this NIL journey of yours?
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things going on. I feel like the kind of the best thing or that I've seen was my teammate. He ended up getting a Nike deal, so Nike came up with all their professionals. They got photographs. So they kind of shut down the whole side of the school to kind of take this photo shoot, and now he's a forever Nike partner, and he gets a certain amount of money each little session that he can go and spend on Nike on whatever while his contract is there. So I think that was pretty cool. Having access to the Nike and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Man, you can't beat that right there. You can't beat that right there. I'll take a little bit of that. All right, the next set of questions that I have are just kind of like rapid fire, but they are about something a little bit different. I wanted to talk to you
Mhm.
about gambling. I really wanted to ask you a couple questions about gambling.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an inevitable part of sports at this point. The
Mhm.
ads are on the jerseys, they're on the floor, they're on the TV commercials. Uh, I know people are getting contacted. I know how it goes. So, do you think colleges or just platforms in general are doing enough to potentially like just protect athletes, or just like what's your experience with gambling in general, being that guy that's on prize picks, being that guy that's on underdog? Like, how does that feel? What has your experience been?
Yeah, so I would say there's stuff being done. If it's enough stuff being done, I'm not sure. But I know the people in charge, they if they want you out of there, they want you caught. They have a way. Like I know in the
Mm,
SEC, if any, let's say for prize picks, if anybody on our team or anybody like that makes an account or has the name of your account, it automatically gets pinged immediately and it gets sent up for review. And I've seen a couple people get brung in because they simply just tried to make an account. But I mean, at this point, I feel like it's kind of getting out of hand. It's not really much. I don't have many solutions for them to kind of solve that. I just kind of what I do to, protect myself, I just don't share a whole bunch of business. A lot of people come to you and be like, hey, how you doing? How's the team? So and so hurt or this, that, and the third. And you never know somebody's intention. So I try to reveal the least amount of information as possible. So it doesn't nothing comes back to me because you never know. Like we had a teammate that went down and nobody knew. And we were briefed before, coming out, hey, don't say nothing about this, that, and the third. And as soon as we got out there, reporters, da da da, hey, is he hurt? Is he going to be a da 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 da? And a lot of people use that for ammo to go and bet. So
Absolutely. Man, to be in the field, man, that's different, man. That's different. You ain't never
yeah,
sell me though, Rashad. You ain't never sell me. We cool. We cool. We
yeah,
cool. We cool. We cool. Um, all right. Here, let me look at my last couple questions. Okay, okay, okay. So outside of basketball, do you have any business dreams or ideas that you would love to build one day?
yeah. So I've been thinking about some things, especially with the money that I came up on during my process. One thing that I really kind of really want to get into is, everybody says real estate, but I want to be a part of the people that create the neighborhoods or that kind of like the DR Hortons and different things like that. I want to be able to invest some of my money or even just be a part of that to potentially, build neighborhoods and, build homes for, the less fortunate or, even some of the higher tax bracketed people. That's one dream that I really want to get into. And then the last one would be Airbnb. I feel like that's very lucrative as well. B&Bs all across, the world, even overseas, I feel like will make a lot of, profit for me, especially as the new age is coming along. So
Absolutely. All right, this is my last question. What does success look like for you on and off the court over the next few years? So, you're a senior, you're transitioning to that next step of life. What does
mhm.
success look like for you over the next 5 to 10 years?
I would say, after this long season, success can be defined in different ways for each individual. I think for me, I just need to get better every single day, and that's on and off the court. As of right now, I'm looking for contracts, trying to get, anything. The season kind of just ended, so it's going to be some space for that. But success for me would just kind of be, moving forward and growing every day as a man and as a player on the court until I can't do it no more, and then we just got to keep moving, keep trucking. But the next 5 years, I would definitely and will see myself still playing basketball, still earning money from there. And hopefully I've launched something and, social media wise, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Reels even, get something going over there on that side.
Absolutely, man. Is there anything else you would like to say before we wrap up?
Nah, man, I felt like I've been talking, talking to everybody's heads off and stuff like that. So now I'm good. I appreciate the opportunity to come up here and, give my little spiel. So thank you.
Bro, best of luck in your next journey in life, bro. Welcome to the adult realm, bro. We're proud of you back home, man. Keep going, bro. And until next time, this is going to be hopefully inspirational and educational for a whole generation of athletes, bro, that are all trying to navigate the same thing that you are making your way out of, bro. So, like I said, man, congratulations, bro. And we're
Appreciate it.
always here for you here at Agora, bro. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.